Hey viewers, and welcome back to Let's Play the Stanley Parable. You may have noticed that there is no longer a blind tag attached to this particular video in the series. That is because I've decided to look up the remaining endings instead of just recording myself mindlessly ambling around, since I've explored most of the office, as I found out. But there are a couple endings I would never have found. Well, that's not true. It's not exactly true. I probably would have figured out the one that required the input screen we've seen a few times,
All
but
of
that's
his
about it.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No
So,
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
you may have remembered me, moving around through the office and clicking on absolutely everything and trying to go, but there was one thing I didn't realize I could do. From a certain angle. Yep, there we go. Almost. Not quite. Okay. Find the right angle here. There we go. So, yeah, you can actually climb up that chair, although you have to approach it from just the right direction. And here we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Ha!
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
So, yes? Well, okay. There's the windows. Let's try again. Whoa, what the? That's new.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
What? Okay, this is weird. I kind of want to see this through now. On the other hand, I should probably just do the other option on this guy. Hup, hup. Come on, Stanley, you can do it. You have all the power your non-jumping feet provide. Or not. There we go. Okay. Hit me, narrator.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
You can't make me quit. Unless the song just repeats, in which case he might be able to make me quit. I have a lot of... There's like some invisible block here. Oh god, that's a lot of white screen. Okay, I think there's just loops, so... Whoosh. Oh, floor's all clean now. Okay.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Okay, so... Off we go. Actually, hang on. Nope, no inputs required in this room. Looking for 5 of them. Oh, there's one. Boop. And now, we begin the game again. This is why I would never have found this ending.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
That's a pretty good opening line. Alright. Begin again!
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Not very funny.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He never really did find his co-workers, did he? In any of the endings so far.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to... Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, and... Yeah, there's the next one. Boop. Begin again.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, and number 5. Oh, okay. endless buttons. Okay, they just come back out again, so there's not much point. But I guess this is Stanley's heaven. Well, it's just a lot about Stanley, I guess. I just noticed the joining voices saying buttons. Makes sense. Well, that was weird. Okay. It's not my idea of heaven. So let's move along.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I do hear rain. Huh. That's a neat effect. Okay. So, we've got in heaven.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Amazing.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So we've done heaven and out of bounds is apparently the other ending there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
For old time's sake, we're going to do this once.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Now I get it.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Do you just loop around? Nice. So at some point we ended up in freaking Escher painting. The darkness.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
This is actually pretty neat.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
A little...
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
This is really dark. But what the hell? Alright, jumped up.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Just for curiosity's sake, let's see what happens if we go back to the other room. Look how cheaply made this looks. Whoa.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving. Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No. No, no. What do you do? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Sorry I missed some narration there, viewers. Try to slow down.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
I just like to mess with him now.
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
It's very pretty. But I'm also a jackass, so...
No, perhaps not.
What do you got for me now, Nary?
God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Yes. Yes, you are. I win, narrator. I win! Oh.
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
If we go back out again.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
This is getting dark. What if he has any more dialogue, or if that's all of it? Not hearing anything.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Whew. Okay, so that's pretty much...
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Alright, well that is all the... that's all the normally achievable endings, but there's one more we have to access through sweet, sweet console power. Let's do this. Bam.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
Really? It's not even a sink or, anything. Well, as long as I'm here.
Whoa. Did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment. As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
Okay, well, let's go for third time's the charm. Whoop. Spelling. Spelling.
Still no effect. The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize. I'm going to the store to look through more tables. Hopefully I find one that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Oh, that's it? Alright, well, fourth time's the charm, I guess? Okay, I guess we're just stuck in the serious room now after all that. Well, viewers, given the nature of the game, a player trapped in the whims of a madly insane, crazy narrator, I can think of no better place to end this, actually. Trapped in a room for infinity years, playing the Stanley Parable. I'm pretty sure that's all of the available endings currently. So, yeah. There's other little things you can do, like messing around in the portal room and some other stuff, but if you do want to try that, I encourage you to go out and give it a shot yourself. I probably will, but just trying to cram that all into videos, just going for one specific moment, I think would be a little boring. So in the meantime, I'm going to jog around the serious room for infinite years, viewers, just to stay in shape for the next game that comes by. As always, thank you for watching. This has been Let's Play the Stanley Parable, and I really don't think I learned anything. See you next time.